Okay, so I'm Tim McCaw and I'm with Sam Taylor, and we're here to talk with Ant Blades, who is a director and animator, comics artist as well. Used to be.
Used to be. Yeah.
Founder of Birdbox Animation and the viral animation master, I suppose.
Yeah. I didn't have very much time to prepare for this one actually, but I was going through your stuff online just before we came over, and I didn't find it. I remember looking for your work. I came across your work at university. I remember looking at it and thinking, wondering a bit who Birdbox Studio was. There's a bit of a separation between you and Birdbox Studio, and I couldn't find all that much information about you. I was just wondering if you could tell us a bit about how you got started up. You were a civil engineer at some stage, weren't you?
Yeah, so I did a degree in civil engineering, but I think the whole time I kind of knew it wasn't really what I was going to do. And it was while I was at uni that in the third year there was like a competition in the Express about cartooning, to get a cartoon strip there in the paper, and I've been doing it for. I've been always kind of doing cartoons and stuff anyway, so I gave it a go and I won it, and that made me think, oh, okay, there's a career here. So after uni, I just thought, right, I keep going with the cartooning, and then I went straight to try and do the 6-month St Martin's animation course, and then from there just trying to get work. But I think straight after that, I don't think I was a bit disillusioned with the work I was getting
in animation.
Yeah.
Was you still doing the comic at that point?
Yeah, so I was still doing the comic anyway.
Okay.
What's the name of the comic?
Weekly. It was called Bewly. So it ran for 8 years.
Really?
Wow.
And that was every week?
It was every week.
Right.
Yeah, which isn't so bad, but it's still, because it was always an extra on top of other work, so it was still, trying to think of ideas kind of all week, and then spending, a couple of evenings drawing it, and then a couple of mornings colouring it. But when I was doing animation, though, I think the first few jobs I had just weren't that exciting, and I didn't really know where it was going to go. So I kind of ended up going into sort of online media and design. It just felt like there was more of a job there.
And so you stopped doing the comic in the Express?
No, the comic always kind of kept going until only about 5 years ago. But I just stopped kind of doing animating and ended up doing more online media, working for kind of creative companies.
So that was, you worked for Google or in the Google?
Yeah, so that ended up being kind of started off like a company called TZ, and then we ended up working for Google and then kind of part of the YouTube team.
Yeah.
And I think it was there that I kind of thought that, I think it was probably Simon's Cat that kind of spurred me on.
Oh, really?
I saw that first one and thought, oh god, I do want to do that again.
Oh, right. So you hadn't touched it in how long, animation?
Ages, I don't know how long.
Really?
Probably been about 6 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I was still drawing a lot. Like all the work I was doing was creative stuff.
Yeah.
So it was still, doing storyboards and illustration, but it just wasn't animating.
Right.
And I think I saw that and thought, and then also working at YouTube, you kind of see what's popular.
Yeah.
And there was a lot. It seemed like there was a kind of gap. That was filled, but I think Simon's Cat kind of filled it. Just kind of short and funny and sweet.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of stuff like that out at the time.
And this is only like 4 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, it's
that
funny
right?
to think. Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's funny to think that. I mean, suppose how old is YouTube? Is it much older than that?
It's fairly young actually.
Yeah.
It's not old at all. Really.
Yeah.
And like when I was working there, it was a bit of a, it wasn't really making money. It wasn't making money.
Right.
Google had bought it, and they were trying to find out how to make money from it.
At that point, had they introduced advertising in the videos?
There was, but it was just like they were all simple ones. They just had the ones next to it.
Oh yeah.
And now it's almost, I'm sure people think it's too much, but it's the only way they can get money back is by having the ones that go on beforehand and the ones that come on top and the ones you have to skip past and stuff.
Do you have advertising on your videos?
Yeah. So you kind of choose when you're putting videos up there. You choose what ad you want on.
Okay.
So you could put the whole load on, but some people I don't think would click through. So if it's like a minute animation, I think some people wouldn't want to wait for a 30-second ad.
So how do you decide which ones get advertising and which ones don't?
It depends how long it is. So I think if it's a short one, like the hedgehogs one, there's lots of little short clips. So I wouldn't want people to have to wait every time.
Oh right.
So I think I only did the pop-up ones on that, and even those are actually a bit annoying. So I should probably get rid of those.
But that was the hedgehogs at Christmas. It was kind of. I remember seeing that and just being like blown away, because it was like your shorts are like really funny anyway. But then you kind of introduce this interactivity to how you decide what you're going to watch, and that was kind of fairly new. I hadn't really seen much of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think there was much of it done really.
But where did you get your kind of idea to start introducing that?
I think I was still working at YouTube when I was kind of playing with those they're called annotations. I was kind of playing around with them, trying to work out ideas that might be fun to play with it.
Right.
What did you do at YouTube exactly? What was your job title?
So we were coming up with creative, either like creative lead or something, I don't know.
So YouTube were actually generating their own content then?
No, it was all creative stuff around, it was all the ads and stuff. So you're kind of coming up with ideas that possible advertisers could be using, and ways to, there were lots of brand channels that you were kind of making, and sometimes on the homepage there were fancy ads, and we were trying to come up with new ways. We were trying to come up with ideas of content as well.
So what kind of stuff did you produce? Anything that you were particularly proud of while you was at YouTube? Because there was some kind of, I remember seeing some stuff at one point. There was loads of ads. I remember there was one for Expendables where like Stallone would punch the side of the thing.
It was that kind of stuff.
Were you responsible for any of
Well,
those?
that was the problem. The thing was that we had a whole team, a really good team of creative people, really talented people, and we'd come up with these amazing, like what we thought were amazing ideas.
Yeah.
But then those ideas were only to sell the space, and then the agency, they'd then take it to their agency, and the agency would make their own thing.
Right. Okay.
So our ideas were seldom kind of actually really used. They were
like the skeleton for something.
It was kind of, this is what you could do.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And every now and then they'd be used, but mostly it was other people.
Is Google or YouTube an exciting place to work? Because you always hear about Google as being
amazing,
a pretty
It was a great group,
exciting.
Amazing. All the stuff you hear is actually kind of true.
Yeah.
Obviously the works was a bit, for me, it was a bit dry.
Right. Yeah.
Because there was other stuff I wanted to do.
Right.
But yeah, it's a place to work. Yeah, they really.
Were you like bounce around space hoppers?
Yeah, it's not
ride
like
down on scooters.
trying not to be that crazy.
People
just look like
people at Pixar are kind of looking over it, like on their scooters, looking over the Google team, being like, "Oh, I'm jealous." Like,
I've heard that all that stuff, like, it's all there, but everybody's so busy they don't have time to use any of it, or maybe that's just the headquarters.
But like all the food is free and all that kind of thing.
The
right?
food's amazing.
Yeah, I met someone who worked there, and they were like, at least once a week you get like fresh fish and stuff like that. And there's
there's every day, like when you went there for breakfast, they had everything you could want.
Right.
For like every single pastry, every single kind of cooked breakfasty thing you'd like, and there was someone making omelettes for you, whatever omelette you wanted. And it was amazing. The kind of place that you think, I think of moving on, but then you're like, oh no, actually, maybe I'll stick around for some good omelette.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Man, those incentives are so important at companies.
But it works, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And you could probably get away with like
sense,
not paying quite as much.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to do, but you could probably get away with not, and just saying, here's free food, and it would work.
I think definitely like there's a certain type of creative person that the thing that drives them isn't the incentive isn't their money necessarily. Obviously that's still a factor, but just having a good atmosphere to work in. Is it like, it seems like is kind of the founders at least are quite idealistic or utopian. Does that run the whole way down?
Yeah, well they kind of drum that in, that that whole idea, and again it kind of works. Everyone does kind of love the company, and because it is kind of really ingrained in you that how great they are and how lovely they are. You kind of get a bit tied to it.
Yeah,
it's only when you kind of leave you're like, maybe it wasn't as amazing as I thought it was.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing, like, I don't know, it's a pretty amazing thing to have happened in our lifetimes. It's so all encompassing, and it's so kind of ambitious.
It was
so ambitious.
great. It was brilliant. But then you kind of, I think you're kind of creative though. You have a certain amount that you kind of want to get out.
Yeah.
And I wasn't quite getting enough out.
So was you started to make the shorts while you were still there?
Yeah, there was a short film. It was a comedy night called Popcorn.
Oh yeah.
And they were showing lots of anything funny. And I started kind of trying to make these little shorts while I was there for these comedy nights, and it was kind of getting the reaction there that made me think, oh, these are going down quite well.
Yeah. And which ones went to that then?
So the very first one I did was the guard one.
Oh yeah.
And which was really simple, and that was like a real basic kind of let's have a bit of a play, and that went down really well. And then it was like the birds on the windowsill, and then it was the playground one, and they all seemed to be getting really well. And then I started getting loads of good feedback, and then when proper kind of commercial and advertisers were getting interested, then it thought, okay, this is.
And was you putting them up online when you were screening them as well?
I think after a while I probably was.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the playground one that really took off.
Yeah, I think that was the first one I saw, and I remember I was making a short film with my directing partner Wes, and we was trying to be really ambitious with our design and the look of it and that, and then we saw that your film and was like, and you were just sort of trying to get the story and the joke across, and it was very simple, and I was like, oh damn it, like we've made a mistake, we should have just been caring more about
definitely
the content. And it was a real kind of eye-opener that we were sort of already halfway through it, so we couldn't change anything, but I remember seeing that and being like really blown away. But it's interesting that you was at YouTube and you saw there was a kind of a gap to put animated films up, like Simon's Cat was getting success, and you thought, oh, there's room in here for me. But then the thing that motivated you to start making it the comedy night.
Yeah, I think it was the comedy night, but it was just I think the gap was that there was like the really really good animators and amazing students and stuff were making brilliant films for festivals and things like that, making their own personal projects. Were beautiful and they're put online and they're about 20 minutes long and they're brilliant, but nobody's really watching them because online people have about 15 seconds before they move on anyway.
Right. Is that something you realised working at YouTube? Or?
Yes, I think it was there. I was always part of the job actually was to kind of be up to date with everything that was coming out, because you had to be aware of all the new trends and what the next big thing was and what you could do next. And because I loved animation, I just realised that a lot of that stuff wasn't really getting noticed.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of kind of real cheapy, successful, like some of it really funny animation that was done really kind of simply. Trying to think of some examples.
Yeah, I remember way before YouTube, when I was at secondary school, I remember there was these like videos of like stick figures fighting.
Yeah.
And they just were like, they went viral before there was even the term viral, or a platform. I remember like downloading them and stuff like that. And it seems
there's lots of really basic stuff like that people kind of really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I think slightly pre-YouTube was things like was it Weeble and stuff and Badger and stuff like that. It was funny, but do you ever see Charlie the Unicorn as well?
No.
Which is really odd. So lots of odd kind of simple stuff that was doing really well, but there wasn't like a middle. No one seemed to be trying to do kind of nice animation, but for like 30 seconds.
I think that like knowing that about you, that you worked at YouTube and you did a weekly cartoon strip, your work immediately makes sense because it's these very well conceived ideas that are kind of have a gag in them. Whose phone's that?
It's yours.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
What we
but it's something that's really well conceived and has a gag in it, but is also quite internet savvy and is sort of the perfect length for the internet. And I think that I think
it's like perfect training for what you ended up doing.
Yeah, it's a fusion of those two things.
Yeah, I think I became aware that you had to hook people like from the very from the very get go. You had to try and get people intrigued as to what was going to happen.
How many panels was your comic strip?
It was mostly 4, but you could play around with it. But 4 or 3 worked best.
And did you read a lot of those strips in newspapers?
Yes, I used to. Obviously, when I was into it, I loved all that, and I was reading all comic strips, and I'd love to say it was something a bit more obscure, but Calvin and Hobbes was just it was always my favourite. It was probably actually slightly embarrassing. I'm sure if you look at some of the strips and designs, it's probably really blatant.
I know Calvin and Hobbes still stands up.
Yeah, no, it does. I'm just saying you can probably see some of like the influences really obviously, and especially the early ones.
I think there's no shame in that, man. I
think it takes a while for you to kind of get rid of your influences and actually be starting to do your own thing. Yeah.
It's funny. I never really understood those cartoons in newspapers. I always felt like, because I like drawing and I used to read newspapers, that I would get those things and I'd be into them, but I'd always just look really kind of confused. I get really confused every time I look at those things in papers. Like so often they just weren't funny. And I think it was because people were putting stuff out every day.
And a lot of them aren't funny though. That's the problem.
Yeah, there's a thing in I think it was like the Day Today or Brass Eye or something, and they had like a literal mime or a physical mime, and one of the guys would he'd be like acting out a cartoon out of a comic strip in a newspaper, and it was just really unfunny, and I was like, I'm so glad that somebody else gets that as well. Like, what the hell, it's especially political cartoons where it's like someone's pulling down Gordon Brown's pants or something, and
it never makes any sense to me.
What the heck is or they've got their punch stuff. I never got it.
And it's supposed to be quite clever.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be quite topical, and you should probably find it funny, but you just don't.
Yeah. But
I think there are very few that manage to keep it going.
Yeah. I'm sure it's just that I'm not connoisseur of it. I think that's what it comes down to. As you say, there's stuff out there.
It's funny though that now that I don't do the strip, that I do actually read them less. So clearly I was, even though I thought I loved them, I was obviously only reading a lot of them because
you were doing
I was probably studying them or just trying to get.
Actually, I read one in the Independent this morning. I just looked at a political cartoon in the Independent this morning, and I thought it looked so old-fashioned. I was like, this is the kind of thing that only existed just because people didn't have a choice. Or maybe it's just, sense of humour definitely changes over time. And I watch, certain sort of Charlie Chaplin or Jack Tatty films now, and I can appreciate them for being very clever, but it doesn't make me laugh out loud in the same way that I'm sure.
You're like,
there's certain stuff, I think Buster Keaton particularly, makes me crack up sometimes from time to time, but
I think, no, do you know what, Chaplin, I got into a whole... I'd never really watched it, but a couple of years ago, I thought I've got to really get into it, and just because it's kind of, it's the big animation reference for performance and that, but I was cracking up, man.
Really?
Maybe I
revisit it.
I think he's really funny, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
But I think it's the kind of thing where it's not, or maybe Jack Tatty's a better reference. It's not the thing that makes me belly laugh, and your films are some of the only things that I consistently show to people, and they make them laugh out loud. And I think that it's also really interesting that I think your work is probably a product of what you were saying about showing it at this popcorn comedy event, and seeing people's reactions and seeing what works, and the misdirection of it, and the kind of, I think that's another thing I really like about it is they exist individually, but they also exist as a series, and I'm sure people see one of them and then they'll go through the rest, and you obviously develop expectations after you've seen 3 of them, but you, there's one, the olive one, where there's a fan spinning above his head. I want to say spoiler alert, but but I was kind of expecting the fan to be the point of the gag, but it was because there's certain things in any animated scene that are moving and certain things which are not, and you kind of expect that the thing that's moving is going to be part of the gag. It's the gun on the shelf.
I feel at some point I'm not. It's not like I'm consciously trying to avoid it now, but I was aware that it was going down. There was definitely a pattern to what was happening.
Right.
You know, it was building towards one expectation and then quickly going in another way.
Right. And was that a formula you was aware of when?
No, it wasn't. I was just suddenly aware that after
okay.
quite a few of them. This is kind of what's happening in every single one. I'm not saying it was bad, but I started to think, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should be trying something else.
It's so funny because I've like studied your stuff and been like, okay, so it seems to be that like you're led one way and then the gag is something else. Because like the fan thing, if you take that fan out of it, it might not be funny. You know, it might just be.
I don't think it would. Yeah,
yeah.
You're not...
It's because you think you know what's going to happen, and then the one that completely threw out that theory for me was the crabs one, because you're not setting up anything. Yeah. Like there's no, you're not leading any direction at all. And then I was like, oh, okay, so this guy's just really funny. Damn it! I'm looking for this this algorithm of like comedy.
I think it has to be. This is obviously true for everything, but for most of mine, it has to be unexpected. As soon as people can guess what's going to happen.
Yeah. And
there's been a few of them that I've shown to people and they're like, oh, I know what's going to happen. And it's really kind of heartbreaking. I think that.
Do you test them out on people before you put them up online?
Yeah, no, I do. I kind of test them out on a few reliable people. Obviously, not people like your mum who's always going to say, "Oh, that's wonderful." It has to be.
Did you do all of it?
So you've just got like what, a handful of people, 3 people or something?
Yeah, it's kind of a handful of people I know are going to be honest about it and give me like.
Yeah, you respect their opinions and stuff.
Yeah. Obviously, this is you do respect their opinion, but then sometimes they're like, I don't think it works. And you are like, no, it works.
Yeah, you're saying you were unsure about one of your most recent ones with the guy with the shopping.
Yeah, that took ages to kind of.
Yeah, but I like when I saw it, and since it's been online and that, like I think pretty much like a lot of people say that that's like one of the funniest ones, and it was.
Yeah,
talking to you, you were saying it was like it was the one you was really unsure about, and
I think it would just taken too long. I'm sure this is a common problem, but from the point that I came up with the idea and drew the animatic that I thought was funny, I then spent so long tweaking it and retiming it and stuff that a lot of the elements, I felt like I was missing some elements, and I did kind of lose some of the timing and then I showed it to some people and they weren't understanding that it wasn't his car or that he was getting the wrong car, and there was lots of confusion as to why he was starting it, and lots of people were questioning why it worked and then I was just playing around with timing more and more and more, and I was kind of getting in that kind of circle of the kind of thing that I should have probably stepped away from for like a month and then come back, and straight away you can kind of realise, this was my signal.
And did you, based on that feedback, did you?
Yes, I did change stuff. I had to make stuff more obvious. To bring that.
So it was helpful.
It was helpful, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was, because I wasn't. Somewhere along the way, I kind of got the timing wrong, and I'd hidden some things.
Right.
And, I tried to make him hurriedly get in his car, but because I was doing that, you weren't noticing other bits of the gag.
Right.
So, yeah, it was one. That was the one I think that really kind of got to me. I just got a bit too kind of stuck on it, and looking back, it's infuriating. But there were days where I just spend like tweaking a few frames. Yeah. Like literally 2 or 3 frames here and there. I think Tom Drew, who's worked on the sound for that, must have just been infuriated because I was like, this is the final one. No, this is the final one. This is the final one, and that happened about 20 times. Really? And he must have just been thinking they're all the same.
But I have to say, I really like the sound in your.
Yes, it's all been
Tom Drew.
They're really good, really nicely done.
Fantastic. They're.
Do you know?
I feel like maybe I do.
So I think I got to know him from. He worked at the he studied at NFTS. And
you worked on a film, Badger or something. Was that right?
Yeah, so that was way at the beginning. And
I remember trying to find your work because like what Sam was talking about earlier. There's Birdbox, and then maybe people because I remember when I was working with you, I was saying, I'm working with this guy at Blades, and they'd be like, who? And I'd be like, he does Birdbox, and I'm like, oh my god, I love Birdbox, and there's kind of like a little bit of a separation. And I remember like finding what your name was, and then googling it, and then seeing that you worked on And didn't that win an Oscar or was nominated for an Oscar
Yeah, it was
or something?
Oscar nominated.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, a girl called Sharon Coleman did it, and yeah, it was really kind of nice old style, and it did. Yeah, and the Oscars kind of. It must have won quite a lot of stuff together.
Yeah.
Do you submit your films to film festivals?
I have been, yeah, but probably not as much as I should have been.
It's a lot of work.
It's
a lot of money.
quite time consuming trying to get them out,
yeah.
and but I'm making an effort to try and get them out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think while they do get accepted, they are incredibly short. So I don't think they're.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever do amazingly because they're more a filler than a proper film.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like the function of film festivals, to a large extent, is to get people to sit down for an extended period of time and consume something.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the internet in a way.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, turn the lights off and lock the door. And
really get into it.
Yeah,
you
all fall asleep.
In a cinema, you don't want to go to the toilet, but on the internet, you'll just totally just walk up and make a sandwich and then come back during something.
Yeah,
it's like on the internet, if it starts with a long shot and there's a leaf blowing on a tree, you've already moved on. In the festivals and stuff, you really kind of sit and enjoy it and take it in.
It's I think that there's a pretty high bar for or I don't know, maybe I'm saying it wrongly, but I think that there's people's attention spans disappear very quickly. I think if there's a period where there's nothing going on for a little while, then immediately people turn off. So you've got to. And I think that's probably bad to an extent. It makes films have to be so kind of snappy and grabbing people's attentions all the time. I think I'm glad there's still a space. I'm glad there's still a space for people to kind of give stuff a chance. And I think film festivals serve that purpose. That's quite.
Do you
quite
think
nice.
about the time constraint when you're making a project, a short film?
Yeah, no, I think I do. So there was the latest one. There was a Christmas one.
Yeah, I really like that.
And it wasn't like all the others are quite single shots. You know exactly what's going to happen, and it was more of a story. And I was very aware that it had to keep going. It had to keep kind of rolling along, and every shot had to be pretty snappy. And I didn't want people to have to hang around to try and get the point of it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of conscious that I didn't want. It was it was for the net. It wasn't something that people were going to sit down in a festival and watching. So I had to try and keep people interested.
Yeah.
I did with that, but
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really gone longer than a minute. So
right.
How long do they take to make? I guess they're all
so
different.
varied. Yeah,
but you have gone longer. You've done stuff or maybe that's with titles as well. There's 2 minutes.
But a minute is I think for you I think there is maybe 1 or 2. Well, the one with the dog in the pub is a bit longer, no?
Yeah, it's too long, isn't it?
So that goes on no way.
No.
Dog, man.
Do you think that drags?
That's one of the best ones for sure, for sure.
I wish they'd come on.
No, man, I love those. I love those bits where you're just watching the performance and when that stick pumps up over the counter and it's kind of
I love that
just the way it moves is so funny, man.
Or maybe that's just one where you're kind of it.
I think that's it. I think you could. How long do they take?
It's hard to tell because they're always done. I never sit down and
between
get on with it. They're
stuff.
always. There's always projects going on, and then I just kind of sit down and get on with them between.
So do you work late
really
nights?
Find it hard to kind of. Yeah, so it's just any downtime.
Right.
If you're waiting for feedback, then try and get an afternoon in or something. But I'm definitely going to try and get more out, and this year try and get more other people to get involved as well. And I really like this year for, if possible, try and get. At the end, it's probably not going to happen straight away, but try and get 1 a month to start coming out.
Really?
But not just by me, because there's quite a few ideas that I've got that just they're sitting there. So I should try and get other people involved. And
I think that's what Simon Tofield does now. He just sits and he sort of he comes up with the ideas and he just has a team animating them and that. But it's very different. He's a good animator. But I think. I actually think you're a particularly good animator in your timing and the details in it, and I wonder if it's kind of
difficult to pass it off to other
yeah.
people.
I know what you mean, but I think some of the ideas.
I feel like you'd almost just need like one other guy who knew work was, you knew their work inside out, and you were like, this guy's perfect for it. It's almost like auditioning for a part.
Well, I think they would vary more. Like I'm thinking they would.
Okay.
They are going to be more varied. The only kind of proviso would be that they'd be short and funny.
Right.
Okay.
And funny being the main thing. Like really trying to make sure that it's.
Have you got people kind of in mind to?
I'm just kind of at the moment. There's a few people that I've already contacted, kind of, I suppose last year, and just haven't actually got back to them because I haven't got around to it. But
right.
I'm hoping it's going to happen, and just experiment with more styles, and because they've all been slightly different. And at the moment, I'm trying not to go back over old styles or old themes as well. So I'm trying to keep them all slightly different.
It is amazing how like you've managed to keep up. Because there's certain kind of web series that like there was one Dick Figures.
Yeah.
The first couple of those have just cracked me up, and then they just kind of go.
I still like that though. I still think they're really good.
They are good. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but I think.
I do think that the quality of your stuff has been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Like,
if not, they get better sometimes.
Yeah. I think it's an unusual thing, and I wonder if that's just because they have been quite spaced out, like between.
Well, I think it's probably because you can kind of pick.
You're not
and choose.
churning them out.
You don't have to. You don't have to come out with the next idea. You can go, that's not quite working, and then just go with one that is working. Because like I said, there's quite a few that I kind of end up doing the animatic for, and it's just not quite clicking, or the ending doesn't really work, or there's nothing there, and there's no pressure to actually just put them out.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about how you what your process is. You do animatics, right?
So I generally got a sketchbook, and I'm just trying to, and this is probably helped by the cartooning as well, just like sketching lots of different ideas and really roughly.
So you keep a sketchbook just that you sketch in on the tube and stuff like that?
But I don't use it as much as I should be.
Right.
I probably have to sit down and force myself to. And it's something I haven't done since having kids and stuff. I haven't had the time as much as I used to.
Because you had a son this year. Right.
Well, little girl this year, and a son a couple of years ago.
Oh, right, excuse me.
So that has kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word to say.
Yeah.
That has changed things.
Yeah, for sure.
So before that, though, there was, there was lots of kind of downtime where you could sit and let your mind wander, and and a lot of that time's just been cut out now. So it was either working or or family. So it's quite hard to find that kind of nothing time where you can actually come up with stuff. I think that's a really difficult thing to be able to plan for, like letting your mind wander. Yeah.
I find the only time I ever get to let my mind wander is on the cycle in to work, because I can't listen to headphones, I can't do anything else, and
I was going to
my
say
mind
as well,
shouldn't
you can't,
be wandering.
you can't look at your phone either.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's a really bad thing.
Because the phone is the worst bit.
Yeah.
I find even when I'm like, on the train or something, I'm thinking, right, I've got like 40 minutes, I can really think about, let's just check Twitter, and check Twitter, and then I'll just keep going back to it, every other minute, and it's.
You find yourself just like flicking through the different, like not even looking at anything, just the process of flicking through to the next page.
It can't be healthy though. Like
no,
you need to have downtime, but maybe not when you're cycling though, because that's a really dangerous.
No, I have actually thought about that recently a little bit. Yeah, but
you just stay at the lights for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's been a few times where I've had to pull over, get off my bike, and write down an idea that I've had on the way.
I hope no one was watching.
Like you're late for work, and you have to take your gloves off, find your sketchbook out of your bag and stuff.
But do you actually is that how ideas come to you, that you have to designate time, or like, because that's one thing I wanted to ask you. I know it's such a cliche question, but like, where do your ideas come from? But do you will you see something funny and be like, that could be a good short, or do you actually go, okay, I'm going to go and sit down and think about an idea, and then just.
I think they've all been like sat down and properly.
Really.
It's all been grind. There was.
So what are you?
I was listening to. I think it was a podcast with the cartoonist. Actually, this is one cartoonist who is always really good. for The Guardian. What's his name? Oh, it'll come to me later.
Yeah.
He's really good, and I was listening to a podcast with him, and he was saying that this is like third-hand information. He had heard somewhere that it was, and I thought it was brilliant. This is exactly what it's like. It's like you're driving down a track, and then you'll get a certain distance, and then you'll realise it's not going anywhere, and you have to back up, and then try another track, and then back up. And it's all like, I don't think any of them just came. They've all been like, okay, think about it. That's not working. And it can be frustrating.
And how far do you get with them? Do you start drawing? Do you start writing before you give it up? Or?
So some of them just seem like some of them from the moment I'm sketching them, I'll take it a certain distance and the whole thing hasn't really got legs. Some of them feel like a really nice concept, and then I'll end up doing the animatic for that and take it quite far, the animatic, hoping that while I'm going along it will kind of present itself and I can work around it, and kind of an ending will come.
Right, okay.
But because I think the guard one, the first one, I think I was just playing, and it just kind of all came together at the end. So I do keep playing with stuff, but unfortunately I now have about 4 or 5 really nice concepts that just don't quite end.
Right.
Which is really frustrating, because I think they're good, but
you will
they
just
don't end.
But you will just kind of work on them until you think that either I've got to drop that or you find an ending.
Yeah. So these ones will probably just sit there for ages because at the moment there's no ending.
Right.
And I'll just try and come up with other ones.
That's really interesting, because I've never thought about approaching an idea like that at all.
It's just so much of it that comes out of doing it.
Yeah.
And especially when you're kind of Flash is so easy to do a quick animatic with stuff moving, and it's so easy to get the timing down.
And
that's
what you
really
mean,
quickly, like if you've got a nice idea, you can really quickly get a story down in like a morning while it's really fresh, and then or maybe it doesn't go anywhere. But while you're doing it, you think, right now he's here and he's got that cup in his hand. Oh, that would be brilliant if. Which wouldn't have been something you'd have done if you were sketching it, because you wouldn't have bothered sketching that part of it. Or,
I find like I feel like your ideas would be, a lot of them would be difficult to pitch. Like I imagine trying to describe, say, like PubDog. It's like there's a dog in a pub and he wants someone's pint, and it's like, it sounds rubbish, like when you say it, and then you watch it and it's the most hilarious thing. It's all in, a lot of it is in the execution, I think, and a lot of it must come from doing it and must come along the way, surely.
Yeah, I think you're trying to give as much. Yeah, I think that's one of those where you see a scenario and you see that kind of PubDog one is, you see the bar and you can see the 2 characters and the dog, and you just think this is a really nice scenario because you can only see the head of the dog, and it's just quite a nice way of trying to tell some kind of story.
Yeah.
So I forget what the question was.
I was just saying that your kind of work, I imagine, would be difficult to pitch, and I think it's quite suited to working on your own.
Probably
and
would,
I think it would be difficult to. I can't imagine how you would outsource those kind of things.
Yeah, even as a
you
storyboard,
trusted
it would probably look
somebody
quite dull as a storyboard.
When does it come together? When do you know that it's going to be funny?
It is the animatic. Like if the animatic isn't working.
And how many drawings per second do you have in the animatic?
Just whatever's needed to tell the story. So it's only just all the main actions, and
so sort of,
depending on what needs saying, it's just all the major points. But it is, you can be so quick Flash, and you can keep it really rough and still get the idea across.
Sure. So I mean, because there's people because a lot of your stuff is done in one shot.
Yeah.
You're not doing a new storyboard panel for every shot, obviously. So I mean, is there kind of
so that helps.
Is it like one drawing every second, or is it kind of it's completely dependent?
It's completely dependent.
Okay.
So it's just
I'd love to see one of your
actions.
animatics.
So it's all. I'll show you some later.
Why don't you put up for
maybe you can get maybe we can get an ending for them. And there are some.
They're kind of. I remember seeing ones for the job we worked with you on, and it was like they're nearly keyed out. Like I remember thinking that they're. I mean, it was kind of like a different kind of job or whatever, but maybe with your shorts it's different. But I can imagine. I remember seeing that animatic and imagining that when you do your animatics, they're kind of almost like kind of keying stuff. Like if
I don't think they're not. I don't think they're not normally that detailed, because the idea is normally I'm hoping that whatever gag there is at the end isn't going to be as reliant on the animation.
Yeah.
So obviously it's nice to have like nice animation that people are going to enjoy watching,
Right.
but I'm hoping that the gag that's there isn't going to be reliant on it.
Right.
So I mean, most of them, some wouldn't have worked. Like the playground one, that kind of had to be fully animated for you to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you know, the Wildebeest one, the animatic for that is really simple, obviously, because there's not a lot that happens in it. The snowman one, you know, I could throw that to friends quite quickly because. So the recent Christmas one, sorry, because you know the gag at the end is it's all about that gag at the end. So the stuff at the beginning can be fairly rough, and you get a vague idea of what's going on. And they are all pretty much reliant on this one single gag at the end. So as long as I've got just enough to give people, you know, whoever I'm testing it on, an idea,
right? Okay.
Then that gives me encouragement. Right, let's go. This is good to go.
And when you were watching them in a room full of people at this comedy thing you were talking about. Did the laughter all come at the end after the gag, or was it just like a
I was amazed how much, like in a kind of that kind of atmosphere, people laugh at anything, which is great. But people are really encouraging. They're really kind of
because that's the thing I think about your stuff. Is like I'm laughing the whole way through. It's not the gag necessarily at the end that gets me the most. It's like quite a lot of the stuff. It's just the nuances of their actions, the characters' movements, the bits of performance that make me.
It always kind of surprises me. I'm always a bit.
Yeah. No.
No, I think that's definitely true. So one thing I wanted to ask you about is so like since doing your kind of online shorts and starting your company, you work commercially as well, so you direct projects as well, and it like I remember seeing the Free Olive vodka like adverts, or they're kind of like your short films, and I was thinking like there's no way an advertising creative has come to you with this idea already and you've just executed it. Like, do you get often approached to come up with the creative for it as well?
Yeah, so in that instance, I think they were hoping that I'd be providing the kind of creative, you know, the ideas as well.
Yeah.
So they had like a big selection of ideas, and that they were kind of looking for more that could be. Just they wanted funny, so they were kind of seeing if there was any ideas that I could kind of provide as well. So that was quite an early one, and I mean, some of their ideas, I think the first one was a Cowboys one that was, you know, was completely their idea.
Oh really? Their whole script?
Yeah, it was nice. It was quite, you know, quite a good idea, and quite a nice kind of punchy ending as well. Quite punchy. I think a couple of Cowboys getting shot is probably a bit harsh.
Yeah, no, I really like that one. I really like the mobsters as well.
Yeah, so that was so those ones that they were hoping. I think they had the Cowboys one. They wanted more ideas for the rest.
Okay, so they gave you like a scenario and you had to sort of develop.
Yeah, and there was a whole list, if you know, because it was based around 3 Cowboys, 3 mobsters, 3. I'm trying to think what the other ones. 3 car salesmen, and they had loads like that. And it was just trying to come up with gags for every single one and see which one they liked the best and which one fitted best.
Okay. And is that common for most of the projects you're getting?
It was kind of a mix. I think part of the reason that they've come to Birdbox is because they're hoping that there'll be some comedy added to it.
Right, okay.
So they'll have a basic script and then say, well, you know what, if you have anything else to add to it, you know, see what you can add to it.
Yeah.
So most of them, there's a few that have just been straight do the work, do the animation, but most of them they've kind of like hoped that there could be some more added to it.
And so as Birdbox, you're how many people in this studio?
So I've got me and then my producer Miff, and then basically it's, you know, whoever we need for a job that's
on a freelance basis.
Yeah.
And how do you find clients, or how do they find you?
At the moment, I haven't had to
do
anything, which is fantastic.
They've approached you. You put the work out there, and they come to you.
So this year probably a showreel, but so far it's all going to come because of the short. So it just shows that it obviously works. Getting them out on YouTube, and I think there's obviously enough creatives in agencies, you know, you see them. And
so it's agencies that come to you generally. You don't work directly with the client.
Yeah, so it's normally an agency will come and say, you know, we're looking for something, you know, there's something in this style, and we've seen this on YouTube.
And then you pitch on it.
And then pitch.
And,
so in that way, YouTube works pretty well.
And it's your presence is mainly on YouTube with like your subscription, and do you? I mean, it's obviously important for you to get hits and stuff. But do you explore other social media networks like?
You're on Twitter as well, right?
Yeah, but no, I don't think I'm as active as.
And what about Facebook and things like that?
So there is a Facebook. There's a Facebook site as well. So I do put stuff up there, and there are some kind of how-tos, and I put some on the Facebook site. There are some making ofs and stuff.
Oh really?
Wow.
Wow.
So things like the Wildebeest one. There's
need to join
a few
Facebook.
making ofs there. And,
I need to join.
and I've put some animatics up as well. I think on Facebook.
Oh really?
I don't know whether that's the best place to try and kind of get people for, but obviously I didn't want to put the animatics and stuff on YouTube because I want to just retain that for the shorts.
Right.
Okay.
Do you get a lot of? What's your kind of biggest following like on a social media network? Is it YouTube subscriptions?
It's probably YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really keep that much track of which ones are doing well. Like obviously I check in on them. But it's mostly
It's in the millions. The views on a lot of the videos, isn't it?
Yeah, but it still kind of shows that because I think if you're a channel on YouTube, if you're producing videos, you're a creator, then you have subscribers, and there's a certain kind of percentage of. I'm trying to think what it is now. There's a kind of a percentage of subscribers who always check your channel to try and see what's going to what's going to be up. But because I only release the shorts only come out twice a year or something, I don't really have any of that power. So subscribers don't check. No one goes back to see what's up next. And you really kind of need to be producing one every couple of weeks for you to kind of keep your subscribers. And when you send out a video, I think there's 150,000 or something, but they don't. They wouldn't really normally check. And it made it really clear at Christmas when I released this film really late, a couple of days before Christmas, far too late, and it didn't really go anywhere. Right. So then it kind of showed that it does rely on. I can't rely on my subscribers. I do need it to be seen by people. I needed people to show around and.
But I mean, you say it didn't do that well. It was like, I suppose, compared to your other amount of hits, it's still got like 100,000 views or something like. Yeah,
maybe I'm just hoping for more now.
Yeah.
I think I was hoping that I was hoping we'd do better than that.
Yeah.
So you don't think that internet views are purely a sort of meritocracy? It's a little bit. You've got to be a little bit strategic about it. You've got to be a little bit.
I think you still need to know the right time to release it and stuff.
Yeah. And working at YouTube, did you kind of figure out when those?
Yeah, I seem to have missed that. I seem to have missed that. Like, what's the key date to do it?
Okay.
And with the other ones, I haven't really had to try and get that right.
Okay.
Because they've just kind of taken off anyway.
Yeah.
But this recent one, I think, was one that I probably should have really worked at to get, release it at the right time, think about your audience, push it at the right times, and I didn't do any of that, and it kind of showed, I think.
So you have no idea what is a good day to release a YouTube video?
No,
Everybody's got a different theory about this.
Yeah,
I've talked to people. It's like Friday afternoon. People are bored.
I've heard that. Yeah.
And then people are like, Sunday. Like people are doing nothing and they're sat at home. And then some people are like, Tuesday because it's like the second day of the week.
Yeah. They've had their meetings Monday. Tuesdays it's like relaxing.
But
it's basically just like make something really funny.
I think that's what it comes down to. I think it's like if it's good enough, it's going to get shared and it's going to get views.
I think it has to be a weekday because I think you are mostly browsing like at work. That's when you're mostly. The weekends. I don't think people are really sitting at the computer. But if it's good enough, you'd hope that it gets picked up by all the right blogs and all the right.
Is there sites that you go, okay, when I make this, I'm gonna put it up on this and contact this person and.
There's only a few that I'd really try and put it up on. Only one really actually. I just try and put it on Beta, which is quite a good site, and
I've never heard of that.
I quite like it.
Oh,
so it's B3TA, and it's kind of lots of internet. There's lots of really funny stuff and like really clever. It's got all the memes and stuff like that.
Right.
But lots of really clever people who are probably know what they're talking about. So you feel slightly nervous, like chatting on it because you feel like you might get put down.
So do you actually like have a bit of a presence on it?
It was slightly, only enough that I think people slightly know that because you kind of say, this is one of mine that I'm putting up, and then people say, recognise you and okay, you're putting up one of these.
Do you ever get any sort of negative reactions to your film online? Do you get people slagging it off?
Not that I ignore them, yeah, and send
Right.
overlays.
Right. Okay. Because YouTube is a jungle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
as opposed to Vimeo, which is a bit of a
You know what?
safe place, isn't it?
No, I don't know if
I don't think I've ever seen anybody say anything bad about yours. I mean, they're quite...
But everyone's Vimeo,
quite
it's
harmless.
proper creative, isn't it? Everyone's really
Yeah.
supportive and they're really kind of...
Which can be a bad thing. I
Yeah,
think
because people
like,
just won't comment. They'd
they're
rather
just out
not.
to promote themselves. They're not really there for constructive criticism.
I think it's just
sometimes.
because, like, if most people who have a Vimeo account will have their work up there as well. They've joined to publicise their work, and I think if you go on Vimeo and go, oh, you know, I think that sucks, and you know, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Someone will go, yeah, well, what have you done? And they're going to have a look at your work, and it's sort of like,
Yeah.
I don't think
So
people.
you kind of have to be nice.
Yeah,
'cause you
whereas
don't want
like,
people to-
how many accounts? I mean, even if someone leaves a bad comment and they've got videos up on their site, it's probably just a repost of another film or them like filming their dog, or it's nothing personal. So you can go, oh, that's rubbish, and they'd be like, yeah, I know it's rubbish. I don't care. It's like,
I have to say, like we put out a film last year, and it went up on Vimeo, and everyone was like, "Yeah, I love it so much," and it was like big ego boost, and that was great. And then I was kind of like, but I mean, it's not a perfect film. Like, you know, there are problems with it, and I want to see if everybody else noticed that. And then I went on Reddit, and it turned out everybody really did. But you know, it was good. It was
so
kind of,
on Reddit, everyone really did like it.
no, everybody noticed all the holes in it, and
Oh, I see,
they felt free to talk about that.
yeah,
And it was quite like refreshing to, you know, like, I mean, it was
It's what
nice to
forum
get all the
gives you, it's
positive stuff
refreshingly
first.
painful. Yeah.
But it was like, yeah, you know, that
the
didn't
next
work.
site
that was
Sam
good.
visited after Reddit was back to Vimeo again to read all the nice comments.
Yeah, exactly. So have you managed to monetize YouTube with your films that much?
I mean, you have to get so many views to make it worthwhile, and it's only just becoming worthwhile now.
Okay.
So, and that's only because I think when the car park, I mean, Wildebeest is still getting more than any others, but that was only because I think the last few months have been getting like October and November were like 4 million hits across them all.
Okay. And how much money do you get per?
So you get about
sort of-
$3,500 for that
You're $3,500 for.
for 4 million hits.
Okay, that's not bad.
Okay.
Which is not bad, but then you kind of you start to think, okay, that could make it worthwhile,
Yeah.
to fund these, to make more of them. But then you do think, right, I do need to get 4 million hits a month,
And how
which
does
is
that?
actually quite a, it's quite a lot, and so it does kind of pile the pressure on that they can't just be, fun animations that I think are fun. If it is going to work on its own on YouTube, then they need to go million up every time.
But it's roughly about £800 to £1,000 per million views.
Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah, it's about like $0.001 or something per
Okay.
click.
But then it's kind of I mean, to get 4 million views across videos a month is like incredible. But it's kind of like it's quite. I mean, there's only a handful of people doing that, in my opinion. But in animation, but it's kind of nice to hear. It must be refreshing to hear for indie animators to think that because that's an investment. They're never not gonna get hits.
Yeah. So they're going to keep staying there.
Yeah, even if
So
you
you
just stop
think
making
that obviously the more films you make, it's only going to get slightly better.
Yeah.
As long as the films kind of retain their, are just as good.
But since you started doing it, there's other kind of ways of generating money for content now, like Kickstarter and things like that. Have you ever thought about doing that to produce a series of shorts? Or
Yeah, but I'm wary of Kickstarter because I just know how much. I know it's not as easy as just making films and things like that. I know there's a lot of work behind it to get a campaign started, all the work around it, and I know you don't get all the money that you'd ask for. Obviously, a lot of it gets cut out along the way, and I just know that it's a big deal. So it's something I'm considering, and I've kind of spoken to people about it who've been kind of advising on it, but I'm still a bit wary because I know it's not just something I can do on the side. That's going to be a full-on project to get that working. And
so the way you make money is basically through the advertising work that you do.
yeah, so it's the shorts are just something to to get people interested. That's the show reel, really.
Okay.
And that seems to me to be like quite a good business model in a way, just because you, as long as you're not putting too much pressure on the films having to make money, you can carry on doing stuff that you just want to do, and there's no kind of expectations or there's no pressure on it. You were saying that, you know, if you start relying on that stuff, then it starts changing maybe the type of stuff that you do, or like how often you're releasing it and stuff.
I think you probably find it quite hard with the pressure of having to get a certain amount and having to think about what do people like. You know, do people like cats? And okay, let's do one about cats. Let's do one about dogs. I don't know whether you start analysing it too much, because you have to get a certain amount of views in. And it's hard. It's hard not to think like that, because it's looking like it could be, you know, its own little business model, and it could work.
But the thing I don't like about that as well, the thing that like draws me away from doing something like that is I hate that. There's been times where I release things, I put them online, and then you spend all your time looking at stats. And I just hate being that person who's looking at stats. It's so stupid. It's like, but it's so addictive as well. Like,
you can't really help it, can you? Just kind of looking, and it doesn't really mean anything.
No,
you don't really get anything out of it.
Well, it means something if you get like $3,500 out of like 40 views, I guess.
I think I think it seems to be a shameful thing to do, but actually I think it's so valuable to understand, because you will get a sense of trends and you know, like, oh, at Easter this video kind of picked up or whatever, and
it definitely shows what's popular. And I
bet at Christmas, like your hedgehogs thing probably got
so that did well at Christmas.
I think it's good to understand that kind of thing.
I don't think there's anything. There's nothing wrong with like appealing to everyone. And you know, if everyone likes something, that's because it appeals to a lot of people. And I don't think there's nothing really that bad with it. And I remember feeling, there's a few festivals I've been to where I'm quite frustrated, animation festivals where people are kind of animating for other animators. And it kind of feel like, and like YouTube's the opposite of that, because you
have to appeal across the board.
It has to be everyone. It has to be
I think that's another
kids to parents to mums, to aunties, and it does make you. And I'm almost worried now that the longer I'm back in the industry, the more I'm kind of getting more ingrained back in animation again, and I feel like I'm forgetting. I'm thinking more about processes and you know, cool lighting and stuff, and you know, nice fluid hair movement and stuff, and I'm forgetting the point of it.
I think that's another difference between Vimeo and YouTube. Is YouTube is a bit more populist. It's a little bit more. It's for everybody. And Vimeo's kind of Vimeo stuff can be watched by accessed by anybody for free, right?
But Vimeo people will notice the lighting. They will say that is lovely. The flare you've got on that is beautiful.
Art direction stuff. I'm definitely guilty of those kind of comments.
But I don't know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a different type of thing. It's different from what you do. I mean, I think all that stuff is valuable, and that is, you know, the craft of animation and stuff is, you know, the lighting and the hair and all that kind of stuff is interesting to delve into. But at a certain point, it becomes a little bit self-indulgent, I guess.
I think it can do. Obviously, there's a right mix of it where you can make a beautiful film that is, you know, a great film in its own right. But then sometimes you see something, you just think, oh, you spent so much time making it, working on the animation, you forgot that you're supposed to be entertaining someone.
Right. There was another question I want to ask you about your advertising business, and that is how you're based in Soho. We're sat in your studio here, which is really nice, and it's like right off of Oxford Street. I was wondering how important you think it is to be based here. You've been here for a while, right?
Yeah, only. I don't know actually. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if I have an answer for that. It is quite nice here because obviously there's the sound studios that I've used have been down the road in Soho, and it also means that this isn't actually useful for anyone listening, but because I'm moving house, this is central London, so it doesn't actually make a difference that I'm moving to the other side of London. It's still fine for me.
Because we thought about location, where we were going to base our studio quite a bit. Tim lives in West and I live in South East, and various other people. There's 7 people who are in there, and they all live in different places. And we ended up in East because it was a bit cheaper. You pay a bit more for premium to be around here. But you've only been here.
Need to be here. Though. I don't think it's.
I think it depends what you do. I mean, I think if you're doing something where you're meeting with people every single day and you've got clients coming in and out, if you're providing more of a kind of service like VFX companies.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the benefit of being in studios and the people having nice offices in a nice location, and it's, you know, it's close to agencies, and when you go in it's kind of like this is, you know, a nice kind of thing. But I mean, do you invite a lot of clients up here, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're nearby, then you know, in that case it is alright, because it's normally, people can normally pop in and say hello. But I don't actually think it makes a lot of difference. I think as long as I think I'm more worried about the people that I'm hoping will work here. As long as people don't mind going to work wherever you're based, I think you're okay.
Right. Okay.
But that's, I don't know. I don't know what that's founded on. That's just my opinion. Because I don't think clients are particularly. I think they'd probably happily meet you wherever anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think it makes much difference. I just happened to have ended up here. You know, this space became available, and you know, I kind of desperately needed somewhere pretty quick.
When was that you moved here?
Yes, that was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was pretty much when I started, and there was a big job straight away. Desperately needed, you know, somewhere straight away that wasn't Cafe Nero. That was great for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
I couldn't take clients there.
Right.
So so I'm just kind of stuck here. So you know, I'd like to think that I might move on, but I will be based in Marylebone, so I'm going to be trying to look for somewhere that's not too far.
Okay, that's where you're moving house.
That's where I'll be kind of getting the train into.
Okay.
So that's my only kind of thing that I'm looking for.
And I was going to ask about, it kind of goes back to producing your shorts.
Sorry, I'm just interrupting you there. Your where you're based though, it feels really creative. The whole area feels really creative.
Yeah.
Right. We're
The
based
thing
in
with
London
here
Fields.
It does feel a bit kind of. It doesn't feel quite as creative. There's something going on that's not related to. I don't know. It's lacking a bit. It's lacking a bit of that.
I think you get sick of any area. Like, you know, East London's got its downsides, and you can be cynical about that, and you can be cynical about Soho. Soho seems to me to have this kind of air of like establishment about it, which is quite nice. It feels like it's got history in a way, and there's the theatre stuff, and there's all the old kind of like, you know, film companies and stuff that have been here for ages, and it is quite, I don't know, there's something about it which feels like a bit bigger and older than you, which I quite like.
But then I quite like, you know, London Fields has got a really nice kind of relaxed kind of vibe, and everyone seems to be out to kind of do something creative.
We've got a studio going in London Fields. We're moving out.
The place we're in kind of feels, well, even when you're walking in it feels like an art school or something like that. But I'm kind of a little. I think you'll be judged on that by people who are big clients. I honestly, I'm not sure I'd feel that comfortable inviting people to this. I mean, like I feel comfortable inviting people to the place where we are, but I think they would probably judge us. Like if you can bring like Virgin over to like our little room or whatever, and I think. I think you do have to have an air of Well, although it's a nice environment to be in creatively, if you kind of want to make money. But then I think like what you're doing kind of proves that you don't need that, because you've kind of gone through a really different route of generating interest in your work. You don't, not that your office isn't nice, but you don't need the big kind of like wooden desks everywhere and like cappuccino machines and pool tables and all that kind of stuff. Like you know, you've sold your work already. Like
I would love to have a studio with a pool table.
Oh,
not to play pool, just to have the space to have a pool table.
Blue pool table, kind of speak. I was so excited about it.
we got a pool table across the street. You should come over and use it. It's a black one.
And an espresso machine.
It never gets used. Everyone's always working.
And an arcade machine as well.
Just people just put drinks on it or something.
No, I mean after work, like I think we were probably the only.
When you're waiting for feedback from clients and stuff like that, quite often you sat around.
But I kind of have started to see the benefit of presenting yourself like that. You know, like Yeah, so I'm not.
I think you do. Yeah, there's definitely, you need a certain air of. You have to give people confidence, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
people
and
are
I
making
think
a
that
leap
if
of faith when they take you on as as a client takes you on.
Because I mean, if you can, your online presence is so. Some clients will just have no idea who that is, so they'll see you online, and you could have an amazing website, and it's hard to tell what's underneath it. So yeah, sometimes when I come in, I think they're trying to get an idea of what you actually are and what you can achieve.
Yeah.
So so I suppose in that way it does really help to have. But I wouldn't think that's more location. I think that's more just walking in and thinking, you've got 50 desks and 40 people working. And a pool table.
That's blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was going to talk about the way you kind of, as you were kind of building a YouTube presence. I noticed that like a few of your early films had a production company behind them, like they'd almost been commissioned by BBC or Rough Cut.
Yes, it was Rough Cut who they kind of. Trying to work out how it worked. So they commissioned. So it was one of the producers at Rough Cut was running. A guy called John Petrie was running the comedy night. So I'd kind of sent a few to him, and he was like, "Okay, well, why don't I?" He really liked them, and he said, "Let's make a few for the BBC because he had the connections, or they were looking for them." So some of the early ones were kind of bought up by the BBC.
And was that kind of a good deal? Were they?
It kind of made more sense for me to. I was paid a little bit for them, but it kind of made more sense actually to. Even at the time, I wasn't making any money on them. I'd rather just retain them as my own, because as soon as you've sold them, obviously, like someone like Rough Cut, who's they bought it for the BBC. I can't. You're not supposed to put this on YouTube, which is why some of mine on YouTube aren't under my name, because. I don't really have the rights to them, so I can't really show them. So it just made more sense, after a while, I think I'm going to keep these, it's not worth the bit that I was getting paid for it. But it was great. I mean, I'm grateful for John Petrie, he kind of was really encouraging at the beginning, and saying...
They were kind of... Is it set up by Ashatala at that?
Yeah.
Is that, he produced The Office. They've got good people in there, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they've got some good shows coming up as well. And let's talk, meet with them every now and then. He's one of those people that I can send stuff to, and he'll give like an honest opinion.
Yeah,
should we wrap it up?
Might be a good point to start to finish it.
Beginning of the end.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much.
Yeah, well, thanks for chatting.
Real pleasture talking to you, Ant. See you around, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.